All right, here are a few tips when preparing for a pitch or a lecture or whatever, like a talk, whatever it is. We have 2 pitches coming up on Wednesday and Thursday this week. Today's Monday. And we've gone over it many, many times. And each time we try to do it, not say it a little bit different, but in a different environment. So a couple things that we've done and we found has tripped us up, but then we do it again in the same way and we've been able to go through it, is to kind of remove these uncertainties that may come up during your live pitch, because you have one shot at it and it needs to be the best you've done it based off of all the practice you've put in. And like, for example, one time we would juggle while we're talking to make sure that we're not focused on the words we're saying, but the idea we're sharing. And obviously, first you should understand what you're saying, and maybe memorize is the wrong word, but be able to like go through the entire pitch without a slip up, without anything, multiple times in a row. Don't start any of this until that, because that will just kind of de-incentivize you and deteriorate your pitch because you don't have it yet. The first step when figuring out a pitch is understanding the ideas that you're going to relay and what you want the audience to hear and feel when you're speaking. Then you can go about forming those ideas, and then eventually with the words that surround those ideas, because if you do it right, most often you can say it in multiple different ways, but the idea always comes across. And for me personally, I found it easiest to stick to the words that make the best sense and use that every time. And even if those are like phrases and some of the middle words are exchanged, that's okay. But try not to make it sound scripted, but still sticking to those words. Now, once you're at that point, then you can start throwing in these kind of curveballs when you're pitching. And Jack and I have done this multiple times, dozens of times in the past few days here. And like, for example, a few times we would like throw something like randomly, or like make a loud sound, like sneeze, cough, try to make the other person laugh, just to kind of catch them off guard, and then have that person continue this. Like, you're not allowed to stop. You're not allowed to be like, oh, shit, like what happened? Like, it's just, you have to fight through it. And then we got better and better at doing that. And then we would put like images of people's faces and try to like present to like an audience and focus on like eye contact while saying a specific sentence, and then shifting. Like, you're focused on this person, you're saying that idea, then you're done with the idea, take a pause, look at the next person, next idea, to kind of simulate what it would be like in real life. And obviously, the best experience is in real life when you have a real audience. So if you can get an audience, whether it's friends, family, whatever, and pitch to them, ideally people who don't know much about your business, so you can get great feedback from them and not biased feedback. We have done this to a few different people, not a bigger audience. One of them was with a previous judge at one of these pitches, actually, and he gave us some great information and things to change about it. The next time we did it was last Friday, and that was with 2 professors who are in like the entrepreneurship space, and they also gave great feedback, and by that time it was kind of more solidified than the first one. Today we have some training with a couple mentors, and then tomorrow we have our Ignite class, and with one of the actual judges of the Thursday pitch at the Marquette Invitational coming to talk, and we're going to see if we can do something there. Other examples of things we've tried to do is like, I think I said like throwing things at each other. We've done like juggling while we're talking. The main idea is to try to get our minds away from what we're saying and distracted while still being able to relay the message. And when you can do that, hypothetically, you should be able to give this presentation in any scenario whenever anything happens. So like, let's say a kid starts crying in the audience, if there are kids in the audience, I don't know. And if you don't practice this, you might be distracted and like forget, like have your train of thought lost, which honestly could happen anyways. But having these points of contact with these scenarios of unexpectedness, your mind hovering away from what you're saying and still being able to relay that message, will allow you to take care of what needs to be taken care of if an event like that arises. Or even, like, for example, there's like a small joke in our pitch, and every time I say the pitch, I like make myself laugh, because I know when I'm nervous, I'm probably gonna laugh. Whether or not other people laugh, that's different. But being able to come back from that quick and If I don't laugh, that's great because I can just keep going. If I need to take a pause because other people are laughing, that'd be even better. And if I do laugh, I'll be able to get back in it because I've practiced it so many times in that way. Other than that, when the pitch day comes, just make sure you're, not to sound fruity, but like your mouth is prepped. Like, warm up your muscles. Don't overdo it in saying the pitch like 4 or 5 times before the actual real one because you'll just overwhelm and tire yourself out. But definitely say it once, maybe twice, get it right, and have that warmed up so that you can pronounce better. And I don't know, you can look up exercises like me, moo, la, 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 la. I don't know, stuff like that. But anyways, the other thing is if you have a choice, always choose to go first because you want to get it done as soon as possible so that you can enjoy the rest of the night or the rest of the day or whatever it is. You don't want to be sitting there getting all the nerves built up because the more they build up, the more likely you're gonna have some sort of nervous, like, I don't know, you miss a word, you stumble on a word, whatever it is. And then most importantly, if you've gotten to this video, most important fact, at this point of this video, just take a deep breath and understand that no matter what the scenario is, all you're doing is sharing all the effort, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the pain that you've been through, and you're sharing that with people. So just think about that. You're not trying to convince anyone of anything. You're just trying to share your story. And in whatever way you're doing that, just know that messing up isn't the end of the world, but if you're only focused on messing up, you're more likely to mess up. So if you do think messing up is the end of the world, just focus on why you're giving this today. And anxiety will always come, but understanding that, just take a breath. It's okay. You'll be fine. You'll do great. Don't overthink it, but keep your mind there. That's all I got for you guys today. Yeah. All right. See you guys next time. Peace.